Well, daffodils, it's time for yet another story. Gather round and listen to a tale as old as a twinky at a gas station. When I was a kid, I grew up hearing a lot of stories of people who I thought were really old talking about World War II. In hindsight, those really old people were just entering their 60s, and the stories they told seemed to be no big deal to me. After all, they were telling me stories about fighting Germans or the Japanese. How bad could it have been? Now, as time goes on and there are more and more films and documentaries about the war, we get a bit more of an insight into what it probably was like to be there in the front lines or storming the beaches of Normandy. But we can never really understand it until we have been through something like that ourselves. The fact is that no matter how similar a situation is between generations, for some odd reason we can never really feel as though the other person's story is nearly as important or even to some extent real. And that brings me to where we are right now. In the snap of an infinity gauntlet, 20 years have turned to dust since the planes went into the Twin Towers, Pentagon, and the field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. For those of us who are alive, we of course will remember that day in vivid color. To us, it was the biggest moment in American history, and it remained that way for a very long time. It galvanized us as Americans in having a shared experience. As time went on, we lost sight of the fact that the younger generation and kids who were yet to be born would one day have absolutely no idea what it was like, other than hearing stories from those who lived through it. This puts us back to square one, where we are now the old people telling stories to kids who feel that it wasn't that big of a deal, and what they go through or will go through is much more important. After all, we lived through the terrorist attacks, right? I just hope that the younger generation is comfortable with the idea that they will one day have kids come up to them and ask if there ever was such a thing as COVID. Let me know what you think. That's about it for now, guys. I appreciate you hanging out. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you soon.